None of us in this room can escape having regrets. There isn't a person in this room who's lived past a day or so who does not have in their catalog of their memory some degree of regret. And when you look back in retrospection, among the biggest regrets that you and I have or will have will always be because of the things we settled for. Out of all of the regrets I have, there is none that is more astounding or staggering to me that when I look back in retrospect and realize I cut myself way too short. I shortchanged myself. The truth of the matter is that there are people in this room now who shortchange themselves because they are too short-sighted to see the current struggle as only a temporary one. And sometimes you become so engrossed and enveloped in the immediate and what's happening now that you can't wipe the tears from your eyes long enough to recognize that this too is going to pass. I wish I had some folk in here that ever came to that realization that the same God that brought me out of that is the same God that's going to bring me, the same God that held my mind together when it felt like my brain was getting ready to pop out of my head because of the stress. It's the same God that says, I know it looks awfully difficult right now, but because I've got an assignment on your life, your assignment is always greater than your emotional state. Y'all missed the place to shout right there. Because the truth of the matter is there are people in this room now who have settled for way beneath their privilege as a child of God. And we settle and then we live. Sometimes you don't see it in real time. As life is happening from one moment to the next, you can't see how drastically low you are cutting yourself. You cannot even realize what you are accepting when you do not have to accept it. God, I want to preach to somebody in this room. Now, it may not be everybody, but I believe I got a few people in this room that recognize, you know what? I settle way too easily for way too little, way too soon. And the truth is, we generally try to convince ourselves that nothing better is going to come along. And so I had better take advantage of this opportunity. Settling is an indication, Brother Henry, that at some level, our self-perception is a little warped. It's a little jaded because generally we do not desire what we think we do not deserve. That is important. Because generally when we have what we have and we think it's good enough and we think we deserve no more, then we don't desire anything else. We take this nice little neat package that we have and say, I'm good right where I am. Have you ever heard people say stuff like that where you try to inspire them and say, oh my God, somebody with your talent and skill, you could do this and you could do that. And after you get through doing all that, they say, yeah, I'm good with what I have. I pray now you never wake up another day in your life and say, I'm good with it. Now, you could be good with it if it was not a possibility that you could have more than what you are currently experiencing. That's why I tell God all the time. I say, God, you should have never told it to me if you didn't want me to experience it. Because the moment you tell it to me, I am going to ditch my previous level of existence, of expectation, and I'm going after something bigger, better. Who am I talking to in this room now? I need you to praise God if you believe God's setting you up for something bigger and way better. Because once you get to the place where you feel like where you are is good enough, then it prohibits your ability to desire anything more. Am I greedy? Absolutely not. but I know what I'm entitled to. That's why you got to stop letting people who have no dreams, no goals, no visions for their life try to stop you from having the dreams that you have for your life. Because I got to have folk in my environment that made up their mind that where I am is good for now, but it's not my ultimate destination. If God has something I need a church that'll praise him right now that believes that where you are is only the appetizer. God help me preach. And you cannot settle, ladies and gentlemen, by no means, because we don't just start out settling abruptly. Settling is a process that happens gradually. We all start out with lofty ambitions and high dreams, and we have these very massive goals. And when you settle, you start compromising. Do you know what it feels like to just compromise? And I really had my heart set on this, but I'll go with that. I'll go with that. And have you ever had people try to convince you that this was as good as that? Or, this is just, it's pretty close. But he didn't die for you to get pretty close. He died that you might obtain the precious promises. I don't know how much more of this I can take now, because I feel the heavens opening up in this room right now. The truth of the matter is, whenever you settle for anything in your life, whether it is a job that should be paying you more, but you take it because you got tired of the interviewing process, and maybe it's because you settled and you were just a few hours away from getting a post degree, but because I got life and I got kids and I got this and I got to do that. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you compromise things that are going to bring personal fulfillment in your life. See, because if you haven't figured it out by now, other people can provide you your personal fulfillment. And when you are under that impression, then you're constantly running behind people to make you happy, and you got to live through what they do. Now, I appreciate what you got going on, but in this season, I'm about to have my own stuff. Anybody believe God's getting ready to set you up with your own stuff? I've supported, I've believed in you, but you know what I found out? Even if nobody else believes in you, you got to believe in yourself. You got to walk your cute self through that mirror and say, good morning, CEO. You got to walk past that mirror and say, good morning, entrepreneur, because your life is going to follow the directives that your mouth gives it. And so when you settle, ladies and gentlemen, it is debilitating. It is suffocating in terms of your faith, because most of you have settled and you are oblivious to it, because you are ignoring the signs that the Spirit is even giving you right now. Well, I don't, how do you say that? I don't know when I'm settling. Let me come closer. You settle because lately you've been feeling the spirit of restlessness on the inside. And whenever you feel this spirit of restlessness on the inside, like your mind is like, you should be doing something. Why in the world would you give all this time to social media and not be writing in your journal? And then you have this resentment of others who have maximized the opportunities that God has presented them. Have you ever looked at somebody because they were maximizing the gifting and the potential God had given them, only to sit around and get angry at yourself and say, I could have been doing that. I could have been doing more. I had the opportunity. I was the one they offered. You know they offered it to me first, right? Yeah, but you didn't know what to do with it. God, I wish I had somebody to get it made up your mind after today. I dare you to put it in my face. I dare you to present an opera. I'm going to know what to do with it, because I absolutely refuse to settle another day in my life.